Joffrey, Renly, Robb Stark, they're all thieves. They'll bend the knee or I'll destroy them.
I owe you an apology.
When Stannis was
My
no
duty
more
is
than
to
4
serve.
years old, his
You
father
have
took him
chosen
and his brother
a new
Robert to
god
court.
over the old gods.
There, Stannis believed he saw King Aerys II Targaryen on the Iron Throne, holding court. Stannis was impressed, and he and Robert agreed that the king had been as noble as the dragons were fearsome. It was years later that Steffon told him that it had been the hand of the king, Lord Tywin Lannister, whom they had seen, as King Aerys had cut himself on the throne earlier that day and Tywin had taken over for him. Stannis is a serious, stubborn, rarely forgiving, hard man with a strong sense of duty and justice. He is proud and protective of his honor. Stannis is an accomplished commander, sailor, and warrior with no thirst for battle, instead commanding from the rear. He has never had the affection of nobles or small folk. In his adult life, Stannis is increasingly embittered by the lack of affection he receives from Robert, even though he serves the king as well as he can. Stannis is not a man for easy courtesies, and has always been uncomfortable around women, even his own wife, Lady Sliss of House Florent. During the years he served on the small council in King's Landing, he left his wife on Dragonstone. He wrote to her, but only occasionally. His visits were even fewer, and he did his duty in the marriage bed only once or twice a year, no joy in it. Though he once hoped for sons, he has only had a daughter, Shireen. Influenced by Melisandre, Stannis adopts a new sigil which depicts the Baratheon stag enclosed within a red heart surrounded by orange flame. Unlike many of his noble peers, Stannis dresses plainly. He sometimes wears a grey wool tunic, a dark red mantle, and a plain black leather belt from which hang his sword and dagger. And to
dark and full of terrors, old man.
But the fire burns them all away.
And I declare upon the honor of my house that my beloved brother Robert left...
Wasn't my beloved brother? I didn't love him. He didn't love me.
A harmless courtesy.
Skills in war, but in life he never really lived. He hated in silence. In private he always knew he would be king one day and Robert would die and he would take the Iron Throne. Oh, you thought there was a happy ending? I think not. Wrath is bitter remedy for evils. It causes malady in the head, destroys fame, it is source for sinful acts. It ought to be controlled by a good man, and those who do not control it are bad men. Sanjay Para, What is good man? Is he well liked like Renly? Is he honorable like Eddard? Is he strong like Robert Baratheon? Is it the slave of Yunkai who obeys his master's commands? It is easy to be good like Margaery Tyrell when everyone is looking. Some people are great at wearing masks and let the world see what they want the world to see, but what did we find when we stripped back the refinery in Stannis? We found a man who would do anything to be king, even burn his own daughter as a sacrifice to a god that has shown you with signs and wonders you're not going to be king. This is why Stannis was abandoned by the Red Women after she knew she made a mistake. A man who didn't care about wife his child, just himself. Why would anyone want to back Stannis when he murdered his own child with blood magic? I ask again, what is a good man? Was Jon Snow a good man?
Stannis declares himself king on Thursday. He sends Dardo's Seaward to gather support for him among the Storm Lords, but none are willing to join him. His maester, Cresson, suggests to Stannis that he makes an alliance against the Lannisters with Robb Stark, who has been declared king in the north, but Stannis objects to ruling only half a kingdom. Cresson then proposes that Stannis sends Shireen, his only child and heir, to the Eyrie to make an alliance with Lady Lysa Arryn, but Stannis' wife, Sis Florent, objects, stating that Stannis should not have to beg for help, and Stannis sides with her. Sis has converted to the faith of Arla, the Lord of Light, giving the priestess Melisandre a base of power on Dragonstone. Sis tells Stannis that the Red Comet is a sign that Stannis' time has come, and that he must sail from Dragonstone now to conquer. Sis claims that Renly's men will join Stannis once Renly dies, and that Melisandre has seen Renly dead in her flames. Cresson is horrified by the thought of fratricide and objects, but Stannis dismisses him. Though Stannis is not a follower of Arla, he denounces faith of the seventh Lord of Light, burning the carvings of the seven gods from the faith as a sacrifice. During this sacrifice, Melisandre proclaims that Stannis is as a High reborn, and has him pull a sword out of the burning carvings, like Rigor. With Dardo's Seaworth's help, Stannis has recruited Salladhor Saren for his force. In private, Salladhor tells Dardos that the sword is not the real Lightbringer. Stannis writes a letter announcing his claim to the throne, and the bastardy of Joffrey, Myrcella and Tommen, which he plans to send to the Lords of the Seven Kingdoms by Raven, and to the ports of Westeros, and the Free Cities by ship. Davos tells Stannis that he has no proof of the incest, but Stannis claims that at Storm's End there is proof, though he does not have access. Davos further informs Stannis that it would be unwise to declare for the Lord of Light, if he wishes to win over the followers of the Faith of the Seven, but Stannis rejects the notion, as he believes Melisandre has power.
Your talent for fighting.
I'm no one. As low as can be, my mother was a tavern wench.
Mine was a slave.